Today I would like to talk about a concept that I think is quite interesting, and that is the change in the types of work that are implied with generative AI. So basically, because generative AI can do part of what people do in their work, we need to recalibrate what that means for what is important. So there's this tweet by Kent Beck, who is a programming guru that I really like because I think he's onto something. He said so I was very hesitant to use ChatGPT in the beginning, but then when I did, I understood why. Because 90% of all my skills, they are useless now. But then the last 10%, they are much more valuable. And then his conclusion, I need to recalibrate. And that's this recalibration I would like to talk about, because I think that's relevant for a lot of professions, not just programmers. But first off, I would like to talk a little bit about what it kind of means for developers, because I think it's a very clear case. So if you look about developer time split kind of before generative AI, so spending quite a bit of time to understand the problem, and then of course writing and debugging code is quite a big bit. But now I would like to showcase what it means to develop in the age of generative AI. This is just a very simple example. I like to do a demo. So first up, I don't write as much anymore as I used to. So I'll just talk with ChatGPT, and then I'll use Claude to program for me. So I'll try it out. Hi, yeah, I would like to make a simple game. Let's make it snake. I would like to steer the snake with the arrows on my keyboard. Could you please make a simple version of that? Thank you. So now I'm just taking the voice from ChatGPT. I'm switching it over to Claude, dumping it in, and then Claude will make that game for me. So Claude comes up with coding all of this, writing the code really, really fast. And yeah, you see this takes just a couple of seconds, figures out what to do and writes the code. And then, let's see, done. Okay, so now I'm gonna play it. Let's see, can I play this now? Yeah, I can. I can move around the arrows and stuff. Nice. But I would like to change it up a little bit, but let's make it better. So I'll do great, but please make this a rainbow colored snake instead. So as the segments expand of the snake, I would like the different segments to have different colors. Apart from this, please make it the same. Thank you. So now this was like a tweak. I wanted to tweak the code a little bit. And then I just asked the AI to do this. And the AI sets off, okay, rainbow color snake, let's go. Writes a new version of the same program that we had from before. Yeah, let's see if it works. Okay, so now I'm starting again. Let's see if I'm successful. Yeah, you can see. I died. But you saw, it started coming out as the proper colors of the snake. And now I could continue and improve on this more and more just by discussing with it. So then let's come back to what this means then. So in the beginning, just thinking about the problem and then writing code a lot. But because writing all of this code would have taken, I don't know, an hour or a long time. But now this was really simple, just writing the code done by the AI. But in reality, if I was going to actually deploy this, I would have to kind of copy paste the code into different files and work a little bit with it if I were just using ChatGPT or Claude like this. But now there are new tools coming, so you can use AI right in the middle of your development environment. There's one tool that I love that's called Cursor that lets you really do this inside. And then if you look at the time, like in the first part you use a lot of copy pasting, but then that shrinks away and then it's even faster writing the code. And so now understanding the problem still as much, but the other stuff has really shrunk. So you have saved a lot of time. And so I think similar to this, part of the work can be done by AI quite a bit, but part of the work cannot. But this is Hulten's theorem. It's an economist, but he basically says in the overall economy, if one sector improves and becomes better, then the cost of producing things in that sector will reduce. And even though it produces more, it will be a smaller part of the economy because the other parts of the economy will kind of increase and take a larger share. To get a little bit what this means, you can look at some previous examples. So for example, in agriculture, if you go back 5,000 years, what share of the economy do you think was agriculture? Like more than half probably. Now, almost nothing, like a handful of percent in advanced economies. Similar, manufacturing in the Industrial Revolution. A lot of people worked in manufacturing. Now that's also shrunk. And if you think about the early days of computation, when the bureaucracy came and you had to calculate, there was a lot of people sitting with these balls on a frame moving to calculate things. That doesn't exist anymore. We just use computers for that. So those are examples of how, as you became more effective at doing something, that actually made something shrink in importance. And so now we don't think of agriculture as being the super important part of the economy. But there's like a more granular version of this, where instead of looking at the whole economy, you look at like one company kind of. And it's like, let's say that before there's like a productivity improvement, there's like two activities, A and B. And now activity A becomes much more efficient. And then we have the same effect, but on the activity within the firm scale instead. So as one activity becomes more efficient, it becomes less important, and the other activities become more important. So kind of as productivity increases in certain tasks, the relative importance of those kind of high productivity tasks decrease, and the focus shifts to those things that are harder to get better productivity for. So if we look at this, what does this mean for generative AI changing how we work? So some like basic programming, writing, doing different kinds of repetitive tasks or simple data analysis, that becomes more and more something that AI can kind of do. And so that means that we shift what becomes valuable to what AI cannot easily reproduce. So kind of interpersonal skill and the human connection, creative problem solving, kind of critical thinking, like using your judgment, maybe those things that become much more important. For future work, like the human AI collaboration is going to be crucial, because if you can get at this productivity benefit, then you will really be a winner in this new economy. And it also means that you need to tweak your skills to figure out what are the parts of your kind of activity set where AI can really help. And of course, this also means that some sectors will change in scope and size, like agriculture and manufacturing before. And so one thing I really recommend people to do, and I've done this a lot with a lot of companies, is kind of roll up the sleeves and go in and look at either roles or value streams or processes, and kind of go, okay, what is this role now? What am I doing? What are the main areas that I'm responsible for? In each of these areas, what are the activities that take up the most time? And then say, okay, but how could I use generative AI, like ChatGPT or AI agents or whatever, to save time on these activities? Just think, how might we do this? How can I improve this in a better way? And then flip around and say, wait a minute, if this is now simple, what can I do more of? What do I want to do with all the saved time? And that's the other one. And then you think about this kind of, what can we do already now with ChatGPT? What can we do with some other additional tools? And what is possible with kind of autonomous agents as they come towards us now? The future is coming at us at a large pace. That was basically what I wanted to share with you today, because I thought quite a bit about this, and I have been out at a lot of companies kind of working with what this means in practice, and I start to see that this is something that will become really important as time goes by. Cool. If you have any kind of thoughts or questions about this, or want to kind of get help with doing this at your company, don't hesitate to reach out. And regardless, do have a think about this yourself and try it out. Thank you.